Shit, guys, I'm doing a month recap because I'm done for the month. I feel happy, I feel good and confident, but I'm going to address my shit because there's only one way to get better, and I am noticing the things that I do need to work on, and I just want to go over it with everyone. So, to recap my month, my goal this month was to size up and to keep the consistent size up. Last month I sized up, and my goal was, I should have only sized up to 1ES and stayed there the entire month, for sure. But I went from MES to 2ES, essentially. And when I went to 2ES, shit started getting volatile for me. But I only traded 2ES for 3 or 4 days, and I was able to hold it together enough to get out of a hole and get back to positive. And once I got to positive, I sized down to 1ES, where I finished out the month very consistent, very strong. This month, before I started, I said, I'm going to 2ES. I want to size up. I know that it's going to be an emotional turbulence, but if I keep doing it, I can power through it and get consistent and get a manage on holding that bigger size, and I can just, trade through it until I am comfortable with it. And I held consistent to that. I held very consistent to that. All the way through the 10th. So what happened this month is all just me having too much size and it affecting my emotions. And not only just the size affecting my emotions for getting into bad trades, but the size affecting my emotions when I was in a winning trade and not able to take, and just the emotions affecting me getting into a trade, getting out of a trade. My strong habits and boundaries that I had were less likely to stay enforced. And it just became a pitfall. Like, it started with this day right here. I had a winning trade. I had 11 points with 2 contracts. I was an $1,100 winner. I took half. I took one contract off at the top, and then the other one broke even. And just that alone, see, the thing is, I didn't even lose money on that, but having that whiplash of emotions with that bigger size and taking that break-even trade put me into a position where I took these 4 trades, and they were completely against what I do. This was all buying a falling knife. I was way under the opening range of the day, and I was buying the dips. I became emotional, and it wasn't because I took a bad first trade or whatever. It was because I was using size that I was just not comfortable with, and even taking half off and break even for the rest triggered me enough to put me into a spiral. So that happened, put me in a spiral that should have been a green day. Then the next day, I took one trade. I used 2 contracts. The market's much more volatile than normal, so me having 5 points of risk a day, I need to have 10 points of risk a day when the market's this volatile. And I used 2 contracts on this, and I used my 5 points of risk. This was way too much volatility for only 5 points of risk, and that's a big reason why I took this loss. But also because I was using bigger size, and I got emotionally cued when I saw a lot of volatility before the 15 minutes was done, and I saw Carmine getting into a trade that I kind of missed the entrance for, and I was like, oh, and it was at the level that I was interested in, and I just got in whiplash. My emotions are too high. The size is too much. So now I have a red month. A red week already. Deep red week, more than I'm used to, because I'm not even used to using this big size. And now I'm trading again. Now that day, I made this with 1ES. So this one day I used the correct process where I only used 1ES. But I did risk $500 on the day because I had 10 points of loss risk. And my winner should have been 20 points. And this day went really well. And I was really happy with myself. And then this next day, I used I was using 1ES here today too. Yeah, I was using one ES today too. But I was still just triggered, man. My emotions were all over the place this first week because I was using bigger size and I wasn't taking profit correctly or whatever the case was. The bigger size affected me significantly, right? And then I go into this week and I started off with one ES as well. Took that. It wasn't a very good day. I mean, it is what it is. I don't even know. I can't even remember what happened right here. I make videos of all my stuff, but because I just don't have the time, I freaking what was this? I got in long, hoping for a breakout, risking that risk, and I was just done. Yeah, the market was moving, looking strong, but I knew there wasn't a lot of opportunity today, and I just I should have took an orb today. This should have been an orb day, but it was also not a good volatile market. It was a Monday, no news Monday. So I'm not too mad at that trade. But then this day right here, same scenario. Too much size. This is the best example of why I shouldn't have used big size. Right here, I'll show it to you. I saw a A1 opportunity. I had absorption. There was a ton of absorption. We had a B shape. I saw lots of trap sellers. We're at the main level that I was interested in. All of the things lined up. But because I tried to use 2 contracts, I was scared to put my risk where it needed to be appropriately. Right here, I got into the trade at 6,980 with good confirmations. My risk should have been the bottom of this, 6,975. I should have been risking 5 points. Right? But I was scared to risk 5 points. So I made my risk under this wick, which was not appropriate, and it was only 3 points. Okay? I got wicked out, and I was pissed because it was still confirming. And the market's super volatile. I need to go off the wicks of the candles now because it's volatility. I shouldn't be going off range bars of 5 points per range bar when the market's this volatile. I should have 10 points of risk a day, and I should have 20-point winners. And I was super pissed. I'm emotional. If I only had one ES, I would have definitely risked this entire wick, but I didn't. And then I took this because I had so much conviction in this because it was a good opportunity. I got in again, but this time I got in again reacting to being pissed. And I got in reacting, and I got in at a higher point. And then I made my risk 5 points my max. Saying, it's not going to go back down there again, 5 points max. Because now I can't risk 7 points now. But I did it again, got in way higher because I was reacting, and I got stopped out by half a point again. Now this is all happening because I have too much size, and it's the accumulation of me using too much size over the entire month and getting into a deficit. And that is the only reason that I'm in this situation is I'm just playing with too much size. It's triggering me and it's affecting me. And then, Lord have mercy, I did the same exact thing again. Look, I'm having the same entrances and the same exits. The stock was ranging right there with trap sellers. And I got in 3 times at the same place and got stopped out at the same place 3 times in a row. Pissed off. Guess what happened, though, if I would have had this right where I needed to? 20-point move. I would have had a $2,000 day, and the month would have been green, and everything would have been so different. So that's what happened. And after that, I was like, okay, Zed, this size is too much. We took a day off. We're saying we're only going small size now. But at this point, because we're so far through the month, my emotions are everywhere. I'm down the way I'm down. I'm just not in the right place of mind anymore. I can't power through this. My emotions aren't in the right controlled environment anymore where I'm building off a green month, and I'm patient and I'm making decisions correctly. I'm triggered at that point. I took one trade this day, and it was a good trade, and I said I'm done. Very smart. We ended up, this ended up going straight freaking down that day. I went long. I had a plan, and this was actually an amazing day. I had a plan, and I played it. I said, hey, I want to see us break this open, the prior open low or whatever, and I want to see some liquidity sweep. And I just had all the confirmations and it didn't work out, and I was just like okay, I'm not going short. I'm still long bias. I'm not even playing this, and I let go, and I was done. That was a totally fine red day, but today, Lord have mercy. Today was totally different, and it's even though I was using the right size, the smaller size, I am just too in a deficit this month, too triggered emotionally this month to make the correct decisions. It really started with, I'm just gonna finish this off. I went short. I knew this was a short day. I knew there was a lot of short opportunity today. I went short here and I got stopped out. Wasn't the most amazing trade you could see. I saw some. We had such a big breakdown with sellers that I was like, okay, this is a strong shorting opportunity. It's gonna have a volatile day. Wait for confirmations. I got stopped out here. And I was like, hey, I'm going to take one more trade. And I was doing everything right up to this point. And I took that next trade. All right. And it was actually a really good trade. I got in here with trapped buyers. And I risked this. Amazing trade. I had about 24 points at its low. 831. I had 26 points of profit. I've had probably 3 trades with more than 20 points this entire last year. And I know that my profit targets for the day are 20 points. And then that's going to make my P&L grow and grow and grow over the months. I know that. And instead of taking that 24 points of profit, I was like, this is weak. This is most likely going to continue down and break that low a day. And I'm thinking, this is it's so volatile right now when it's this volatile and it's this weak. A lot of the times it fails and it does go lower. I was literally thinking that. And instead, long story short, there was a part of me that did this correctly where I risked this and I got stopped out. For like a 11 or 12 point gain, and that's honestly fine. I had a $450 winning day, but guess what? I'm down so much on the month because of the size I was using and all of the avalanche of just emotions through the month that I'm like, yo, I want to be a part of this big ass drop because I can make it another $2,000 and be back green for the month. See that? That's where the problem's at. It's the emotions. My skill, my strategy, my price action confirmations, my entry signals, my locations, the way I use volume profile, my patience, my process, my game planning, all of that is A+ money. But now I need to master the emotions that come with trying to use size and maintaining a green month and how I'm going to create a process for how and when I do increase size. And I see that now. And just managing my emotions. That's the last part of the game I gotta master. And now I'm just like, let's master this. Let's do this shit right. I recognize that. And just like that other trade, I lost. I gave back that 23 points and I only took 12. That shit pissed me off. I'm emotional. I'm down on the month. I should have had a 23 point winner. I never have that. As soon as I got out, guess what I did? I retried to do this trade 3 more times and I ended up maxing out my loss for the day. Crazy work. And then I just said, you know what? I fucked up this month. Me trying to use this bigger size has ruined this entire month. It's only going to be an uphill battle. There's no time to be in a battle with this stuff. I need to be coming from the right place emotionally if I want to do this correctly. And there's no way I can come back from this month and be in the right place emotionally. So I'm done for my month, but I have a ton of lessons. The first lesson is I'm only using one ES. All right? I'm only using one ES. There is no 2 ES right now. I should never have tried to go from MES to 2 ES. I should have only did 1 ES because I was very controlled and maintained with 1 ES. The second lesson is when the market's super volatile, 10 points of risk, 20-point gains. When the market's not very volatile, 5 points of risk, 10-point gains for my daily, right? The third thing I learned is when I'm ready to size up, how I'm going to size up if I ever move past 1ES, okay, is I need to be 2 to 3 weeks into my month, and I need to be up a considerable amount of money. I need to be hot, confidence, running, all that good stuff. And then I need to take that 2ES trade with high conviction when I'm up that much in a month. Now, if I lose that trade, pedal off the gas, I'm still up a lot on the month, I go back to 1ES. And maybe I have another 1 or 2 green days, and maybe I try again because I'm still up so much on the month, right? But if I don't, I just pedal off the gas, finish the month with 1ES, we're positive. I should never be trying to size up when I start a new month nope, not doing that again. I'm not going to force myself to size up anymore. I need to always try to size up when I'm coming from a place of abundance, when I'm up a lot on the month and I have a lot of confidence and things have been working very well for me. And if the case happens where I do size up and I start hitting winners and I end up maximizing my month and I because I'm hitting these winners, I consistently start using that 2ES the last week and a half of the month, and I close really strong. Now, this next month, I can start 2ES because I have cushion from all the extra 2ES profits I made and the last month's profits I made where I can go into that zone. But never again am I going to just start a month and say, hey, I'm going to start off with bigger size. We're not doing that. I fucked it up, and I noticed this. And I am fucking dedicated to becoming great at this. And now I have a great process. I have good playbooks and strategies. And now I just need to get these emotions down around sizing up appropriately, correctly. I've seen and I've grown a shit ton this month with these things just because of this. And I'm done for the month. But when I start over the month in March, I'm going to use just 1ES. And I'm going to crank that 1ES the entire month. And God willing, I come back from being down $2,000 and I end the month, $2K plus, obviously, and have a green month. And then, from there, that next month of March, April, in April, then I could say, okay, now I'm cranking it. Oh, 2 weeks in, I'm still cranking it. Let's go ahead and start throwing in 2ES here. Because I'm 2 weeks into the month, I'm up $3,000 already. And I feel really confident and I understand the context very well. So, with that said, I am done for my month. I am down $1,898 on the year so far, but that doesn't mean shit because there is so many amazing things that I did this month, and I have such a good process that now I could clearly identify the things that are creating the issues in my trading. And I know how I need to handle them now. So with that said, I'm gonna definitely take off. There's no doubt in my mind. All next week I am taking off trading, for fucking sure. Me trading the last couple days of the month, I don't know, but we're gonna take at least a week off to kind of situate myself. And get things right. You know what I'm saying? We got to get things right, situate myself, kind of put this all behind us. We got to put this all behind us. If I don't feel like I've put this behind us with just 1 week, I need the 2 weeks so that I can start a new month fresh. And that's totally fine because I know for a fact once I dial in all of these different dynamics, I am going to not only be profitable, but I'm going to become great at this. I have dedicated so much of my time, my life. I've sacrificed so much to get to this point where I could find a way to improve, and I see how to improve, and I am more than determined to chase this and to do this thing right. So with that said, this is an emotional game at this point. This isn't about my playbooks. This isn't about any of that stuff. It's just the emotional game because I was trading 1ES so well. I knew how to walk away, sit on it, all that stuff. But I cannot sit here and try to make my P&L back now. It is a done month. Okay, so yeah, super happy with what I have done. Super happy with my progress. I am so determined to become great at this, and I see exactly where I went wrong, and I see the amazing things I did do right. So, with that said, have a great one. Shit, it is what it is. Hopefully I can look back at this video and be like, hell yeah, I fucking powered through that shit, and I made it happen. Just like on my mirror, it says dedicated intention, practical effort, and measured improvement. I'm measuring my improvement, and I'm making practical effort towards the right things that need to be addressed. And right now, it's just I fucked up with trying to jump ahead with the sizing, man. I fucked up, and it fucked up my whole month. And now I'm coming from behind, and everything is an emotional decision. So I'm out. Peace.